Hi, this is the second video in section 5.2, proving trig. We have addition and we are adding fractions. So we need a common denominator. We're gonna try to make a common denominator, and this common denominator is going to be secant of x minus 1. We're gonna multiply it by the other denominator, which is secant x plus 1. Whatever we do on the denominator, we do on the numerator as well. I'm going to multiply the second fraction by secant x minus 1. Do the same thing for the top. And the common denominator will be secant x minus 1 into secant x plus 1. The top, we distribute secant x plus 1 and we multiply by 1. It's easy in this case, it stays the same. 1 multiplied by secant minus 1, it also stays the same. I still don't touch the second side. Remember, we still change everything in the first side to make the second side show. If we look at the denominator now, you should recognize a special case. You can distribute traditional method, using the traditional method, but I highly recommend that you guys use the special cases. Special cases are very important to know, especially for your other math classes that you will be taking later. So if you distribute in the traditional way, 1 times 1 is 1 squared, you're gonna get the secant canceling out. This is why if you apply the special case, which is a squared minus b squared, you will right away get secant squared minus 1 squared, and 1 squared is just a 1. Secant plus secant is 2 secant, and plus 1 minus 1 will cancel out. So we are left with 2 secant divided by secant squared minus 1. And again, that 1 squared is just a 1. I look at my identity sheet now and I see if I can use any of it. And I look right here, it has a square in it. So I look at the Pythagorean identities. If I look at the Pythagorean identities, identity 12 would be the closest to this one. Secant squared is 1 plus tan squared. I can subtract 1 on both sides, and I will have secant squared equal, or secant squared minus 1 equals tangent squared. So secant squared minus 1 is nothing but tangent squared. I know that secant squared is 1 plus tan squared, but I don't need this. I need secant squared minus 1. So I changed it a bit until it fits what I need. Tangent squared to secant x. I look at this and I compare it to where I'm heading to, and it still does not look exactly the same. So let's see what we could do here with our algebra skills. I'm gonna split this, and I'll give you the algebra skill using numbers right here. 5 over 7 is the same thing as 5 multiplied by 1, 7. Similarly, 2 secant x over tangent squared is 2 secant multiplied by 1 over tangent squared. And I don't need cotangent square, I just need cotan. So this is why I'm gonna use my algebra skills. T squared equals t multiplied by t. So cotangent square is cotan multiplied by cotan. I now look at the pieces of the puzzle. I have the 2 that I need. I have the cotan that I need. I don't need the secant. So I'm gonna change the secant into 1 over cosine, and I'm gonna change the cotan into cosine over sine. And I'm gonna copy everything else. Cosines cancel out. 1 over sine is cosecant, and copy down the cotan, and up to this point we proved